Hello again, it's Luna Celestine here. Thank you for joining me on today's astrological journey. This one is just for Leo, and it's all about the energy unfolding on April 3rd, 2025. Today carries a powerful shift in momentum, with the moon moving into its waning phase and forming a harmonious trine with the sun in Aries, another fire sign like yours. You're being called inward, but also nudged toward bold, courageous change. It's that unique mix of reflection and readiness. You may start to question the beliefs you've held on to, the paths you've followed, and even the dreams you once chased with certainty. And that's not a sign of weakness. It's a signal that you're evolving. Right now, you're in a transformative space. Old patterns may no longer feel aligned. Things that once defined you might feel restrictive. And while that can feel unsettling, it's actually a sign that you're making room for something more authentic to emerge. Astrologically, this is a moment to pause and reconnect. Mercury is preparing to go retrograde, which means your thoughts and decisions deserve extra care. You don't have to figure it all out today. Instead, ask yourself, what am I still holding on to out of habit? What feels heavy, not because it's hard, but because it's no longer true? The message from the skies is simple. You don't need to control everything. The more you release the pressure to have all the answers, the more space you create for the universe to surprise you. Let your heart, not your fear, guide you. In the next part of this reading, we'll explore how these planetary movements are influencing your love life, your finances, and your career. All of it reflects the same theme. You're being invited to reset, realign, and rise into a version of yourself that feels freer and more true. Let's dive in. Now, let's talk about where things are beginning to move again. Your finances and sense of material stability. If you've been feeling like your efforts haven't quite been paying off, or that things have been stuck in a cycle of waiting and uncertainty, today brings a gentle but significant shift. It might not be loud or dramatic, but it's meaningful. This is the kind of shift that comes from you changing your relationship with abundance, rather than chasing it from a place of lack. There's something happening internally. You may already feel it. A quiet confidence is beginning to take root. You're not operating from desperation anymore. Instead, you're stepping into a space where your energy says, I know my worth, and I trust the timing. That mindset changes everything. It invites in opportunities without forcing them. It allows space for money to flow without gripping too tightly to control. This is where unexpected offers can show up, where delayed payments suddenly arrive, where people begin to notice your contributions and value you in ways they hadn't before. Whether it's a small financial surprise, a new offer, or simply the clarity to make a smart decision, today's astrology is aligning you with forward momentum. And the truth is, your energy plays a major role in this. When you move with self-trust rather than fear, the world tends to meet you halfway. Keep paying attention to where you feel most aligned. Those are the areas where growth will happen first. You don't need to do everything all at once. What matters most is that you're showing up from a grounded place, especially when it comes to money. Financial opportunities are on their way, but they're not just about the numbers in your account. They're tied to how you see yourself, how you show up, and how open you are to receiving. This moment is asking you to drop the need to prove yourself, and instead allow your value to speak naturally through your actions and presence. As we move into the next part of your reading, we'll turn to a space that's even closer to the heart, your relationships. Just like in your financial life, something is shifting there too. But where money asks for clarity and grounded confidence, love is asking for honesty and emotional presence. Let's take a closer look at what that means for you today. Let's take a moment now to shift into the realm of relationships, where the emotional undercurrents are just as important as anything happening on the surface. Today, with Venus forming a gentle aspect to Neptune, the energy around love and connection is softer, more open, and deeply intuitive. You might find yourself craving emotional closeness, but at the same time, you could also be reflecting on old wounds, ones you thought you had already left behind. That's the thing about this moment. It invites you to love more honestly, but only after you've acknowledged what hasn't worked in the past. There's a quiet invitation today to release something that's been weighing on your heart, a pattern, a memory, a dynamic that no longer supports who you are becoming. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to fix everything overnight. What matters most right now is that you show up in your love life with presence and emotional clarity. If you're in a relationship, this is a day to lean into vulnerability and connection, not the kind that forces anything, but the kind that says, I'm here and I want to be real with you. Even a small moment of openness can shift the tone of your connection. If you're single, the energy today supports emotional beginnings, but not just for the sake of romance. This is more about reconnecting with the part of yourself that still believes in the possibility of deep, mutual love. And here's something important to keep in mind. With Chiron still active in Aries, your ability to love is directly connected to your willingness to heal. Sometimes that means forgiving yourself for choices you made when you were still learning what love even meant. Other times, it means choosing to believe that you deserve a different kind of relationship than the ones you've experienced before. Either way, love is present, but it needs your participation, not your perfection. In the next part of your chart, we'll take a look at your career and sense of purpose. Because just as love is asking for truth, your work life is asking for alignment. And if you've been questioning whether your current path still fits you, the sky today might offer some surprisingly clear answers. Let's explore what's coming into focus. Now, let's move into your work life, an area that's likely to feel the ripple effects of today's larger energetic shifts. With the sun still traveling through Aries and forming activating aspects to Mars, there's a surge of forward momentum encouraging you to take initiative. This is the kind of energy that says, stop waiting for the perfect time. Start where you are and move with what you've got. And for you, Leo, this hits home. Your natural leadership is being quietly but firmly called into action. If there are projects you've put on hold, ideas you've been hesitant to pitch, or goals you've been quietly working toward in the background, now is the moment to re-engage with them, not in a rushed, chaotic way, but with clarity and confidence. This is about recognizing your own timing. You don't need to push. You just need to step in, and that alone will set things in motion. Mercury preparing to go retrograde might create some delays in communication or logistics, but don't misread those pauses as signs you're off track. Instead, use them as moments to refine your message, double-check your direction, and make sure you're building something that truly aligns with who you are now, not who you were 6 months ago. This is a time to lead, not just through bold moves, but through intentional choices that reflect maturity and self-respect. If you've been feeling unsure about your place or value in your current role, pay attention to what lights you up today. What tasks make you feel fully alive? What situations call you to bring your full self forward? That's your clue. Work isn't just about productivity, it's about expression. And with Leo's fire being activated under these skies, you're being reminded that your voice, vision, and energy matter. Don't underestimate the influence you can have just by showing up as yourself. Coming up next, we'll touch on your health and overall well-being. Because none of this momentum matters if you're not feeling grounded and supported within your own body and mind. Let's take a closer look at how the current astrology is helping you reset and recharge. As we move deeper into today's astrological landscape, your health, both physical and emotional, is coming into sharper focus. This isn't just about how your body feels, but also about how well your inner world is being supported by the choices you're making every day. And under the influence of a waning moon, harmonizing with both Saturn and Neptune, there's an invitation to slow down, reflect, and realign with what truly nourishes you. You may have been pushing yourself lately, mentally, emotionally, even physically, especially with the Aries sun driving up the pace of everything around you. And while that drive can be productive in many ways, your body is now asking for a different kind of attention. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but it can't come at the expense of your well-being. The universe is gently nudging you to step back, take a breath, and ask yourself a simple but powerful question. What do I need in order to feel whole again? This is a window of time that supports healing, not the dramatic overnight kind, but the gradual, real kind that happens when you start making small but intentional shifts. Better sleep, more movement, nutritious meals, emotional boundaries, and honest conversations with yourself. These are the foundations of long-term wellness. Saturn in Pisces reminds you that taking care of yourself isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a responsibility, not in a pressured way, but in the sense that no one else can regulate your energy the way you can. You set the tone for how gently or harshly you treat yourself. You might also notice that your emotional state is more sensitive today. That's part of the healing process too. Feelings you've been pushing aside may come to the surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be acknowledged and released. This is where Neptune's influence becomes your ally. It encourages you to soften, to listen inwardly, and to let go of anything you've been holding on to out of fear or habit. Your intuition is more active now, and if you give yourself moments of quiet, whether through meditation, a solo walk, or just turning off the noise, you'll begin to hear what your deeper self has been trying to say. You don't need a full lifestyle overhaul. You just need to choose one or two ways to support your nervous system and your emotional health consistently. Those small, steady changes will have the biggest impact over time. And as you begin to care for yourself in this deeper way, you'll notice how it starts to ripple into your relationships as well. Because the more balanced and whole you feel inside, the more clearly you're able to connect with others without projecting, overextending, or shutting down. In the next part of our reading, we'll explore how these shifts are playing out in your closest connections, your family, your friendships, and the emotional bonds that shape your everyday life. Let's take a look. As we turn our attention to your relationships with family and close friends, the energy today offers a quiet yet powerful opportunity for healing and reconnection. With the moon forming supportive aspects to Saturn and Neptune and the sun continuing its journey through Aries, there's an invitation to return to the core of what really matters in your relationships: honesty, presence, and emotional safety. If there have been lingering tensions or misunderstandings with someone close to you, especially within family, this is a day when bridges can begin to rebuild, not through forced conversations, but through softer gestures, small efforts, and a willingness to be present without judgment. Sometimes healing in relationships doesn't come from solving every issue. It begins when both people show up without needing to be right and simply choose to be real. The current astrology supports that kind of slow repair, especially if you're the one willing to take the first step toward peace. Saturn's steady hand helps you create new emotional boundaries or reinforce existing ones in a way that's respectful and long overdue. You're learning that closeness doesn't mean overextending yourself. It means showing up as your full self without shrinking or overcompensating. If someone in your life has had difficulty understanding your path, your pace, or your personal growth, this is a chance to gently let them see who you are now, not who you used to be. Neptune's influence brings a layer of compassion to your interactions today. You might be more aware of what others are going through, even if they haven't said it aloud. That's your intuition picking up on subtle emotional signals. If you feel moved to reach out, to check in, or to simply offer kindness without expecting anything back, trust that instinct. This is the kind of energy that quietly strengthens the bonds between you and the people who matter most. It's also a good time to reflect on how certain connections affect your overall energy. Not every relationship is meant to stay the same forever. Some are meant to evolve. And in some cases, healing might look like loving someone from a distance, or finally letting go of an expectation that has created more hurt than growth. You're allowed to choose peace over obligation. That doesn't make you unloving, it makes you honest with yourself. As your inner world becomes more centered, you'll naturally become a grounding presence for others too. People may feel more drawn to your calm, to your clarity, to the steadiness you've been cultivating. And the more supported you feel in your personal life, the more empowered you'll be to continue stepping into the future that's unfolding for you now. Speaking of which, Let's finish today's journey by tuning in to your sense of connection with the world around you, your compatibility with others, the kind of energy you're attracting, and the subtle signs the universe is using to guide your steps from here. Let's take a look. Now, as we close out today's reading, let's take a look at your energetic compatibility and the kind of connections that are most aligned with you under today's sky. With the sun in Aries, your fire element is especially active right now, which means you'll naturally find a strong resonance with fellow fire signs, Aries and Sagittarius in particular. These signs mirror your drive, your need for inspiration, and your desire to live with passion. When you're around them, things tend to feel easy, alive, and full of movement. These are the kinds of connections that can motivate you to keep growing while also honoring your individuality. On a different note, the current placements are also highlighting a softer, more emotionally intelligent side of you, and that opens the door to deep compatibility with water signs like Pisces and Cancer. These signs may not always move at your pace, but they offer emotional grounding and sensitivity that complements your natural leadership. Together, you create a rhythm where fire meets flow, where creativity and emotion exist in harmony. Whether romantic or platonic, these connections have the potential to be meaningful because they bring out different parts of you. The fiery signs spark your confidence and boldness. The water signs remind you to stay emotionally present and grounded. Right now, you're being encouraged to surround yourself with those who support both your ambition and your emotional truth. As for the subtle signs the universe is sending your way, pay attention today to what feels like ease, what feels like a yes in your body. That's how alignment often speaks to us. Your lucky numbers today are 11, 24, 37, 52, 65, and 78. Numbers that carry the vibration of growth, trust, and breakthrough. And your lucky color is gold, the shade of sunlight, success, and personal power. It's a reflection of who you are at your core, radiant, strong, and full of life. Take these signs not as predictions, but as confirmations. You are moving in the right direction. Keep listening to what lights you up and stay open to the ways the universe is responding. The path ahead is not just opening, it's responding to your presence. As we wrap up today's journey, I just want to leave you with this. Everything you're feeling right now, every question, every spark of hope, even the moments of doubt, they're all part of the process. You're not off track, you're evolving, and the stars are simply reflecting that back to you. Today's astrology is less about rushing forward and more about realignment, coming back to what feels true for you, letting go of what no longer fits, and allowing yourself to move forward with clarity and calm. Whether it's in your relationships, your work, your health, or your sense of self-worth, you're being supported in ways that may not always be loud, but they are real. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something in today's reading resonated with you, take a moment to acknowledge it, to write it down, sit with it, or even speak it out loud. And remember, astrology can guide you, but it's your choices, your heart, and your courage that shape your path. I'll be right here with you again tomorrow, walking this journey one step at a time. Until then, take care of yourself, trust your pace, and keep showing up. The universe is already responding.